Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to make a spreadsheet just in case you want to make one yourself. This one is mine. This is how I made mine. The way mine is set up is that I initially put what I do owe here, and once I start plugging in the numbers of my payments that I'm making, it would slowly add up and tell me how much I spent for each of its own carrier. And then over here at the end, it tells me how much I spent for that specific time period. So this works fine. It's just there's a few issues where things are not adding up correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and revamp this to make it work better. To give you guys an idea how my spreadsheet works, this is a spreadsheet I had originally made back, I believe, in 2018 or 19 when I was paying off my debt. As you can see, it has all my debt listed just like the one that I'm using now, but it has a few other accounts that my new one doesn't. The reason why that is because last year I consolidated most of my debt, so most of these went away. So to show you my 2019 spreadsheet, I actually have to zoom out, so you guys might have to use full screen in order to fully see this. I will try to zoom in a little, but it's just a lot. For me, it's better to see it smaller, but I know for you guys it might be harder to see. So for my 2019 spreadsheet, I did end up starting off in the middle of the year, so it's not the full year, but it gives you a little basis on how my spreadsheet is supposed to work. So initially I would put how much I would get paid. For example, this by week, or I'm just gonna call it week, I got paid $800, and I would summarize how I would pay my bills. And then when I actually got to actually paying my bills, I would just write it on top. The way I had broken down my spreadsheet was that because I got paid bi-weekly, I would pay the first of the month's bills first, and then the second half at the end. So with this spreadsheet, I was actually only recording what I was paying for my bills and not what I was getting paid by my job at that time. But it works the same way as the one I have set up right now, where it told me how much I spent, how much I was left over with, and how much I actually paid off on my bills. The way I wanted it set up was that it would tell me how much I actually got paid for that specific year. Total I paid off for these specific bills, and I didn't program it, but I also wanted to see how much I spent. So my only issue with my spreadsheet, is that it doesn't take into account how much I'm paying for interest. So that's why I want to make a new spreadsheet. So the way I want my new spreadsheet set up is that it's still going to have my initial numbers, how much I have remaining to pay off, how much I've actually paid off, that is including with the interest. And then I want to have just one separate one for how much interest I'm paying on top of this. So for example, right here in Amazon, I started off with 190. Right here it has a negative, meaning that I overpaid $50 for Amazon, whether that being interest or maybe I had bought something and I paid an additional $50 that was not accounted here. So I think that's also going to be another column that I could add, saying how I have this, I started off with this, but I also added more to that specific card. So this is another spreadsheet that I do believe that I started in 2018, that I'm going in the same style, where I have my initial numbers and how much I have remaining to pay. And then down here, it's a little bit more easier to read, but it shows my timeline, how much I got paid, and my potential pay, or potential of what I could pay, would go here. Okay. And to start off this new spreadsheet, I am just going to go ahead and copy my current numbers. So that is just going to be Control C, Control V. I usually like to space things out, and just going to zoom in real quick. The reason why it doesn't show anything here is because I haven't made the way the programming works is that it gets the numbers from my second sheet. I believe it gets them from here, and it updates this here. So we're just going to leave that there for now. And we're just going to go ahead, add a new column. This one is going to be, or let's add one to the right, and let's call it how or did you add anything? Or maybe to make it short, add ons. So for add-ons, I am gonna make a second page. Just gonna rename this to add-ons. The way this one's gonna work is that if there is anything that I need to add on to these, I will go ahead and place them here, and it's gonna update these. So for example, let's copy these right here. Control C to copy, and then Control V. And I think I want to do them side by side, horizontal.
So, PayPal. Actually, I will skip one. Best Buy, Reliance, like that, US Bank, and Amazon, and Nelnet.
So this little box right here just outlines and gives borders to everything. Okay, so just to make things pretty, I went ahead and changed the font size and removed the spacings on everything, just so that it's all compact. For Wells Fargo, when I think of Wells Fargo, let's actually make it 20 cells. Wells Fargo's, when I think of Wells Fargo, it reminds me of the color red. Ooh, it reminds me of the color red, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mark that as red. PayPal, I think of the color
blue. Discover is orange for me. I think that's a nice orange. Best Buy is also blue. Or it's yellow. I'll do yellow for Best Buy. Align, I'll leave black. I mean, for Align, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it white because it does just for some reason remind me of color white. Amazon's logo is black, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make this. No, Nelnet, I'm gonna make green. And Amazon will be purple. I don't see Amazon as purple. Amazon should be green. Nelnet will be purple. There.
So data validation is just so that it lets the user write down any number, and it gives you specific rules that one could use. So because this one's going to be adding up, I'm just going to put greater than 0. So the way it works is that if I add something, it's going to check to see if it's a number or not. So if I try to put high, it's gonna kick it out. And then right here, I'm just gonna make a special one. So the way to sum all of this up is gonna be, make sure you click here, and it's gonna be equals sum of B4. So what I'm talking about when I say B4 is coordinates B4 all the way to B19. So I believe it's semicolon B19. Yeah. And then we're just going to go ahead and close this. And there you go. So if I were to put another number, it's automatically going to add them up. Another way to do that would be to select this one. And it's always going to be equals sum because you're trying to add them. And you just click and you hold shift and you let go. And then just to close it out, enter. Now that we have that set up, this is just going to be specifically for adding anything. It's going to be added onto here. If you ever want to go ahead and link between two spreadsheets or the same spreadsheet but different sheets, different page, you just got to remember the location number. So for example, this one B20, just going to go ahead and write down equals and then the name of the page, quotations, and then you just write down the name, add-ons, you end it, exclamation point to call out for that specific page, and then the location number. So, and with that, it gives you whatever is here. You now linked it to here. And now I could just copy this and let me just paste it and we write down B or C20. Okay, so I just did some quick changes real quick. I had forgotten to add US Bank. So let's just go ahead and test this out. So I'm just gonna put 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. The reason why I chose these numbers is just so that I know what correlates to which one. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So that is fine. So this is just going to be it for my mini series on how to make your own spreadsheet. I will have more upcoming videos. I plan to upload these videos every 2 weeks just so that I could fill that in between gap of my paying off debt bills. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them down in the comments below and I will try to get to them. If you did like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. So thank you very much and until next time.